Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show, your source for market intel, forecasts, and strategies. Hello, I'm Michael Ball. Thank you for being with us. This segment is brought to you by CommercialAgentSuccess.com. Check it out for the ultimate in commercial broker training, CommercialAgentSuccess.com. Well, we have an interesting show today. You know, sometimes when the market's in a little bit of turmoil, a lot of people like to get educated, go back to school, or stay in school. And the real estate programs around the country have really been improving. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to touch on opportunity zones. And then one of my favorite subjects right now, we're going to talk a little bit about the office market, what's in store, when will demand be back, when will these office buildings be occupied, what's going to happen there with value and demand and use. Please welcome my guest. We have Lynn Mckee here, lecturer with Georgia State and I guess other places around the country. Welcome. And Jon Wiley with Bowers Professor of Real Estate at Georgia State. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, let's talk about your program there at Georgia State. What kind of degrees your offers? Tell us about the program.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. Last time we talked about, I think Atlanta Commercial Real Estate, we're talking about Masters in Commercial Real Estate is probably the most relevant program for your audience. That program is currently ranked number 7, U.S. News and World Report. We have, the biggest change since the last time we talked was we took it online, not totally online. So you have this maximum flexibility where if you're a student, you can show up to as many classes as you want over the course of the year, or none of them, and take all of them virtually. But if you want to show up in person, it's Buckhead, 1-year program. Show up on Mondays and Wednesdays, 5:30. The classes you're super applied. Every class is focused on ownership of commercial real estate. We actually did that right before COVID in 2020. So you're learning from these, I don't know if you want to call them trendsetters or something like that, but we were ahead of the curve in this really weird way that we were already taking it to the Board of Regents to make it with that maximum flexibility. The reason we were doing that is because we have this kind of distinct program. We're the only program in the world called the Masters in Commercial Real Estate. And we're the only one that focuses totally on ownership of commercial real estate and all the decisions you need to make to own. And, to take it today, we have a student from Botswana who joins us at like 12:30 a.m. his time and sits through 4 hours of class into the night. So it's a level of motivation and tapping into a global market that we haven't seen before. But yeah, Masters of Commercial Real Estate, you're totally right. We are counter-cyclical. We had a doubling of our class size. We normally try to keep it at 20, 25 students, and we jumped to about 45, 50 students this year. PhD in real estate you can get. It's very research focused. We only have 2 or 3 students at a time, and anybody who says they want to get a PhD in real estate, I'll try to talk you out of it first before. And then undergrad in real estate. That's really more catered to your entry point into the industry. You don't have an undergraduate degree yet. A lot of people don't know what it means to get an undergrad in real estate. They think, oh, you don't need that to sell houses. And well, the real estate profession is a lot more than that. And there's leasing agents and appraisers and all kinds of other entry points to the industry. But once you're in the industry for a moment, then we see the Masters in Commercial Real Estate really be a good stepping stone and a lot of success stories. I don't know if you want to go with that.
One of the things that makes our master's program different than a lot of universities is that it's primarily taught by real estate professionals. We have 10 classes. 8 of those classes are taught by real estate professionals who work in the real estate business every day. They're a mortgage banker, they're a developer, they do market analysis, and then they come teach our students at night. So it's very applied. We also bring in a lot of guest speakers. Sometimes we joke and say that us instructors are just there to put the show on so the guest speakers can come in. We really bring in the who's who of Atlanta real estate and come in and speak to our students.
You're the Johnny Carson, right?
There you go. Just here's
facilitating.
Here's somebody. And then we make sure that they make themselves available for relationships, for mentoring, for stuff like that. So when we talk to our students, the guest speakers and that the instructors actually do this real estate every day seem to be the 2 things that really pop out.
Yeah. I like in the Masters of Real Estate program how you offer in online and in class? Because I know a lot of these classes are just online. It seems like a lot of those students are kind of disappointed when that's their only option.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's different learning styles for different people, right? And so some students are going to learn very well online, and some literally can't or don't live in Atlanta, right? And so we're having some of those students in our class. In other cases, though, I mean, I wish that I could say it's all about the skills that they're going to get and all about the textbook knowledge that I'm going to impart, and it's not. What I've seen is the biggest success stories over my decade at GSU is the connections, the relationships that happen, the people who are from industry who are willing to come in and mentor our students and help them, find entry points into the field and navigate that field. And so the students who show up in person are hungry for that. They want that engagement of the, as Lynn calls the C-suite of Atlanta real estate. Others are here for the content and to learn and get the skills, the immersive case experience and those kinds of things.
Yeah, one of the things that we do when we teach online is and this is an academic word, it's done synchronously. Okay, very little of it is asynchronously. That is, there are people in the room and there are people online, and they're all experiencing the same time. We use WebEx. Actually, everybody in the room and online all go into WebEx, so they have a common thing. And then, we have their pictures up on the board, the little Hollywood Squares thing. So we're able to not only teach in the room, but teach online and call people out and say, "Hey, Joe, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" We really work hard to bring that online into the room as much as we can. And it's not easy. I think I told you, I have great new appreciation for our school teachers that are doing, that's what school teachers are doing, or they're doing, it's called a hybrid way to teach. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. But we think we make that online experience as in the room as you can get it.
You have to make it engaging. I think, I know you have recently talked about, zoning and things like that. And if you focus only on textbook content, lecture, you can't say, hey, turn to page 26 in your textbook, and if you're in front of a planning, department, they've got pitchforks and torches, and you just read this paragraph, and it works every time. Instead, you need to throw a student in the situation and say, all right, here's where you're at. How do you maneuver in that?
So, any of my listeners or viewers from around the world or around the country can attend?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they have to have a bachelor's.
Yeah.
It's really targeted for somebody who has, at least an ounce or, orbiting around commercial real estate industry, I think. But yeah, anybody in the world could apply for this program.
So the Master's in Real Estate then is geared more toward asset managers and developers? And
I would say it's all the way across the board. It's investors, it's developers, it's lenders, it's asset managers, it's brokers, it's anything that touches commercial real estate. It's a very broad, programs. A lot of masters in commercial real estate programs are development focused, so that you're only learning about development. For instance, if you go down to tech, you're going to take some real estate classes, but you're also going to take building management. You're going to take an architecture class and a civil engineering class. We're more the finance, ownership, and be that development or investment of commercial real estate.
What do you need to know to own? So development at a given point is about 2% of any city. Sometimes it's 0%, right? And sometimes it's maybe a little bit more. But the owner, the rest of the skyline needs to be owned by someone throughout the cycle. And we're teaching, how do you do that? Well, you got to, pick a good asset, bring money to it, and manage the asset, put users in it. But I think it kind of breaks down into three different career paths. Some go into commercial brokerage. Some go into take an entrepreneurial path, and so they're interested in sort of a private equity investment fund or being a real estate developer, actually. And then the other is more institutional type jobs, and that is your analyst, asset management, whether it's on the debt side or the equity side of the business or some consulting. But they want the steady paycheck. They're more risk averse type than maybe the commercial brokers and entrepreneurial groupings.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a great program. I get a lot of people that come to me for career advice in commercial real estate, and sometimes they come to me and they want to work at my office in my shop, and I'm like, well, really, what do you want to do? Well, really want to be a developer and owner and all that. Well, you don't want to work here. Go get your master's in real estate at Georgia State. Why don't you do that?
Yeah. Well, our students are really across the board. We'll get them all the way from students that have just come out of with their business degree and maybe have done an internship in real estate or something. They'll come into the program. I would say probably the biggest group are people who have graduated maybe 2-3 years ago, and they'll graduate with a business degree, but not necessarily real estate. It'll be finance or accounting or something, and they'll have stumbled into commercial real estate somewhere. Their first job, somehow they got into commercial real estate, and they'll realize, wow, this is a really great industry. I think I want to make a career out of it. And then they'll come back to our masters and say, okay, now I want to learn the whole field as much as I can versus just picking it up over the next 10 years. So we really catapult their careers because when they come out, they're so much more qualified. They're not just the guy cranking the numbers. Now they're the deal manager managing the deal, or now they are the broker out making the money and stuff. So
yeah,
it helps.
We see a lot of delta over the course of a year. Almost every student changes jobs, or their employer moves them up rank to try to keep them. Over the course of a year, almost every student, in fact, in the first 3 months or so of the year, a big part of that is they get Argus certified, they're on CCA and fast track, and they can go ahead and put, hey, I'm getting graduated with my master's within a year from the time that they start. You mentioned, your audience worldwide. I think that there's two potential audiences. One is prospective students, which I think that we talked about kind of the value of that. But I think another one is possible employers. And something that's really interesting about Georgia State University, I mean, I don't think it's any kind of secret that the commercial real estate industry has somewhat of a diversity problem and or challenge. And we have 50% of our class is female, more than 50% is minority. And whether that's an important initiative of a given firm or not, just the level of skills that we're giving them. So it appeals to both sides, but we normally have more jobs than students. And so people who are wanting to move up in the field and get more, we have people knocking on our door for those reasons and for the skill set that they're getting.
Yeah, I think the industry realizes they want the value to their firms of the diversity. So I think that's fantastic. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about opportunity funds and opportunity zones and what's happening there. But then a subject that I really like to talk about, and that's office use. What's the future look like? Stay with us. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. If you appreciate the show, think about the opportunity to do business or refer business to our sponsors. Bull Realty. For customized asset and occupancy solutions, visit bullrealty.com. Commercial Agent Success Strategies. For incredible commercial agent training, visit commercialagentsuccess.com. Vista Property Reports. Use smartphone location technology for commercial real estate due diligence. Visit vistapropertyreport.com/CRE show. Core.green. Use ion technology to create a safer environment for your real estate. Visit core.green. For more commercial real estate intel, forecasts, and strategies, visit CREshow.com.